Hello, my beautiful patrons. How are you this morning? It's Friday, best day of the week. So yesterday when I gave you the word of the day, mollycoddle, which is quite a good. Well, it's a great word, but it's how can we say? It's a strange word. It might not be easy to remember, and so when I find a word that's difficult to remember, I like to look at the etymology. I like to look at where did the word come from, because it helps me to remember. And yesterday I forgot to say. So basically, coddle is a verb, okay, and it is the process of perfectly boiling an egg. Okay, the process of perfectly boiling an egg. And if you want to have the perfect egg, the water has to be just hot enough, but not boiling. So it's in between boiling and too cold. So you have to put a lot of attention to the water, to the, well, back in the old days, to the fire, to the amount of wood in the fire and the position of the pot, everything. So that's why you have this this idea that when you mollycoddle something, you're giving it too much attention, like the egg. You're like focusing, and the molly part, is a substitute for the name Maria. And it's really an interesting thing, and a lot of languages do this. It's like when we have a concept like to coddle, we want to personify this concept. We want to give it a person, give it a name. So you're not just coddling the egg. You are a Maria coddling the egg. You're a person. So like in Spanish, right? In Spanish, a person who is very bossy, who tells you what to do, is called a mandon, because the verb is mandar, which means to basically to give orders. But they don't say you are a mandon. They say you are a Mari mandon, a Maria mandon. And then you have other things, like you have a slippery Steve and a nosy Parker, and we like to give them names, normally traditional names like Maria or Smith or whatever. So I'm curious to hear about any examples of this in your language. If someone is very nosy, what do you call them? Do you give them a name? Or if somebody's very like a horrible person, do you have a special name that you give to them that includes a real name? So yeah. But today's word of the day has a lot of letters from yesterday, but it's a lot shorter, which is good. And here it is here. Okay. And there, okay. The word of the day today is cajole. That's the pronunciation, cajole. It comes from both French and from Latin, and it meant bird cage. You see, it's similar. Cajole, cage. Okay, bird cage. Cajole is like a little cage where a bird lives. And what do? Birds go, right? So to cajole is to persuade or to convince somebody to do something by constantly It's a bit like, I didn't want to go to the party, but Maria cajoled me into going. Come on, Christian, it'll be fun. Come on, you have a great time. They're going to be there, and they're going to be there, and it's not too good. Like the bird in the cage, to cajole. Okay? Great word of the day. I don't know if I told you, but one of my missions for this year, for 2018, was to learn Arabic. So far, I have failed spectacularly to dedicate any of the necessary time to learning an entire language. One of the most difficult languages for an English person. You know, but then I was on the Duolingo website, and on the 1st of August, so in what? June, July, like 2 months? In 2 months, they are releasing on Duolingo Arabic for English speakers, which I'm sort of excited about. I've never used an app to learn anything, like anything, and I don't really think that it's a great way to learn a language, but I'm opening myself up to experimentation because I know that Duolingo is so popular, and I'm curious to try on myself and see what kind of results you can get. Like, can you get any results at all? You know, does it work, basically? I'm curious. So I'm excited to try that in August. I think I remember some of the Arabic alphabet from my previous classes. I had a teacher. She was really good. Well, actually, she was a terrible teacher. But I could sort of get the things I needed, more or less. And I bought some Arabic books, but I just, you know, it's a question of time. And, well, not really time, a question of priorities, right? Like, for me, I have other priorities right now. But I'm going to try with Duolingo, because apparently with Duolingo, you can learn a new language with just 5 minutes a day. And you and I know that's totally true. Okay, one final thing on this beautiful Friday before I start work. Last night, Gosha and I were chatting on Facebook about films, and then of course when you're Polish and you start talking about films, you start talking about Roman Polanski, and then talking about I don't know how to pronounce his name, Kieślowski, I don't know. And then I said that his films are great, but the thing that I liked most was his music. Well, not his music, but the music of this guy. His name, and again, why do they have to have such difficult names in Poland? Zbigniew Preisner, something like that. So this guy Preisner made a lot of the music for the films of Kieślowski. And when the film director died, he wrote this requiem. It's called A Requiem for My Friend, and it is just so beautiful. The music, it's like, it's uplifting, and it's sad, and it's spectacular, and it's just wow. It's one of the best CDs that I ever bought in my life. So I recommend listening to or buying this CD. Yeah. Well, no, actually, nobody buys CDs. I recommend listening to it on Spotify. What am I talking about? Listen to it on Spotify. Is it on Spotify? Come on, please tell me it is. How do you spell it? Yeah, Preisner. Yes, it is. Well, the big new. It looks like some of his music is on Spotify. Latest release. Okay, so this CD is not on Spotify. Oh my god, that's terrible. Well, maybe you will have to buy the CD. Well, anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted by things. You know, my mind is like a butterfly. Okay, have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you again really soon. Lots of love.